There's one thing that you do almost every day, and you may not even realize it. You're even doing it right now. Hey, you're still doing it. Do you know what that is? If you guessed perceiving speech, then you guessed right. Speech perception is how we understand and process the sensory information that makes up speech. The sensory information that we are taking in includes visual and auditory information. Both the visual information we are receiving from our eyes, which is usually the face of the person we're talking to, and the auditory information we're receiving from our ears combine together to make a complete and comprehensive picture of what we understand as speech. What I just mentioned is a fraction of what our perceptual systems do when we are confronted with an instance of speech. This leads us to the topic that I want to focus on, lexical retuning. Lexical retuning is an unconscious and automatic process that takes place in our perceptual system when corrections need to be made. This was first researched in Dutch speakers and listeners. In these experiments, listeners were exposed to ambiguous sounds on a spectrum between S and F. Listeners were then asked questions about what category they would place these sounds in, an S or an F category. The researchers found that if a listener was exposed to more sounds on the S side of the spectrum, they would classify more sounds in the S category and vice versa. Context has a big impact on how someone will lexically retune. For example, the word giraffe with an ambiguous final sound. Usually, listeners will choose the option of giraffe rather than the option of giraffes because giraffe is a word while giraffes is not. Another example is with a foreign accent. In one instance, researchers used the context of a general foreign accent and the possibility of lexical retuning. They found that listeners retune to the sounds of a foreign accent even after only listening to them for a short period of time. All of the previous examples were in the absence of visual information. It was all in terms of how our brains correct our perceptions using only auditory information. This is not the way our brains work, though. Whenever we have the opportunity, we use visual information that we have access to. Sometimes we even prioritize our focus on the visual information over the auditory information. These same results have been seen in the deaf and hard of hearing communities, with many of these people relying heavily on both visual and audio cues when it comes to understanding speech. As a fun example, the benefits of visual information on understanding speech extends to singing as well. One particular study had two conditions in which the participants were tasked with only hearing the audio of a song, while the other condition tasked participants with viewing a video of the singer while also listening to the audio.
It won't be easy. You'll think it's strange when I try to explain how I feel, that I still need your love after all that I've done.
From this, the researchers found that the subjects were able to better understand the lyrics when provided with the video along with the audio. So, it seems that the unity of the visual and audio information allows for the best overall understanding. Lexical retuning is an important part of the overall process that is speech perception. Lexical retuning allows us to better understand the speech of people around us, as well as more easily communicate with the people around us.